Okay, I was floating aimlessly on the internet, something I do, probably too often. It seems to be a perfectly mindless way to pass the time. I'm just driftin' and driftin', as Paul Butterfield once sang. It's rather like strolling through a giant department store, window shopping, as they say. And in this instance, I came upon a site where a young man was selecting his favorite books for the year. Fine. As this occasionally provides me with reading material that I might not otherwise have encountered, I clicked his picture and listened to his choices. One of them was a book by Joyce Carol Oates, and the man said he would probably have to plead guilty to a charge of favoritism on that one because the author had dedicated the book to him. That made me laugh, and it also made me request the book from the library to see if that was really true. It was. She did. Nothing else could have made me ask for a book by that author. She is famous not so much for her work as her output. Some authors, like Stephen King and John Grisham, are called prolific. Others, like James Patterson, who writes mysteries in tandem with other authors, is said to be a writer of prodigious proportions. Oates is more than that. She is prodigiously prolific, or prolifically prodigious, something like that. She writes everything: novels, nonfiction, essays, reviews, criticism, journals, anything that can be read, she writes it. If that's a strategy for fame and remembrance, it might work against her. So massive is her production that, in choosing a book to read, no one could say where to begin. She may not be remembered simply because she had buried herself in a great mausoleum of books. It is difficult to fathom how she has done it. The easiest possible solution is to picture a large room, a factory, a sweatshop, full of writers all laboring away under the auspices of Joyce Carol Oates. She has given each one a note with specific instructions on what they should be writing. When they're done, she inspects it, makes corrections, additions, and deletions, and then ships the piece off to its appropriate destination, be it a publishing house or a literary magazine. That would explain the overwhelming production, but it would not be correct. Implausibly, she does all the work herself. I checked to see if she had a family. She could not possibly have a family and write all those books and articles. She had been married twice, one died, and had no children. Freud would say that she poured all her sexual energy into her books. I think that's right, but I'm not Freud, so I can't make that determination. I do know that for her, writing is everything. It's not work. Writing is the peak and ultimate expression of what it means to be human. Communication through writing and reading is more intimate a contact than sexual intercourse could ever be. More civilized, too. Ideas and feelings are exchanged, not just thrusts and fluids. I know this because it has to be true, and because I did read her book, which is entitled Soul at the White Heat, a line she cribbed from Emily Dickinson, a writer she reveres, one of many she reveres. Well, it's a tautology. She reveres writing, so she reveres writers. The book was a collection of pieces, the first three on writing, naturally, followed by a batch of reviews, a brisk tour through the San Quentin prison, and 3 pieces on boxing, which exist, I think, to show that the little lady can write on any subject, even one seemingly removed from what you might think would be a field of her interest. No, her field of interest is life, and she has something to say about all of it. Life and literature, I should say. She makes it abundantly clear that she has read everything, and I do mean everything. And she's not babbling. She's done her research, she knows what she's writing about, and you quickly see that she knows more about boxing than you do. In one of the reviews, she is visiting a female writer in England. About this she writes, "Meeting her at last, I almost felt faint, certainly unreal, turning transparent myself in the presence of this totally defined, self-confident, gracious woman. Surely everything must seem to me to be a little enhanced. Writers are clearly heroes, titans to her, and she nearly swoons in the presence of one, and she aspires to be one constantly at it. I have heard that she, like our president, is an obsessive tweeter or Twitter, whatever it is. I don't know the difference. But I do know that when Joyce Carol Oates is not writing, communicating, twittering, she feels what it is like to vanish, disappear, cease to be, alive. Back to the keyboard.